I gotta focus on my numbers today. I gotta go fly a sign so I can turn my numbers in. We'll work out tomorrow. I'm gonna have some of this Rockstar though. I need some energy. Damn, like I don't know, man. I'll probably work out later or something. Yeah, guys, I ain't got no more money. I mean, I don't got no food. I'll work out later, or we'll work out tomorrow. uh, I did work out yesterday. Oh, we gotta go fly a sign so we can turn our numbers in. I noticed that, the later I get down there, the worse it's gonna be. So I should be down there around 10, 15, 10, 20. Tired of this shit, bro. And sometimes you be thinking like, damn, why did it have to be me to go the long route? You know what I'm saying? I gotta go the long route. I can't get a leg up, man. That's just the way life treats men, bro. We don't get legs up. We don't get an easy life. We got a hard one. That's the reason why we check out earlier than women, bro. Women got longer lives, man. You feel me? Capoeira King. Hey, I ain't gonna do nothing today. What's up with it, Captain Commander? It's just like, man, I've been alone for a long time, for a minute. I got dealt some bad cards. That's why we gotta correct those cards, though, man. You know, we gotta stay focused on this bag, though. You feel me? You know, we gotta stay focused on this money. This is the most important thing in the world. Is right now is getting this bag. At this point, I hate to say that getting this bag is more important than exercise. It really is, bro. Cause think about it, a fat, chubby guy with a lot of money, he's doing better in the date market that better than a guy that's cut and ripped and shredded, man. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was on steroids and I was at low percentage body fat, yeah, I got some attention and I got a little bit of sex. But the fat guy with the money is doing better than the motherfucker that's swole, that's in shape, that's lean and shit. You feel what I'm saying? So at this point in my life, bro, the bag is more important than exercise. We got to go down here and fly this sign and turn these numbers in. We got to make sure we got enough. Because I get down there late, man, around 12 o'clock. It gets harder to get something. So we got to go down there right now. Did I leave my, yeah, fuck it. I ain't going to drink that no more, man. The Rockstar. Only have a little bit, man. Yeah, like I said, man, Is it us men? We don't get no shortcuts, bro. Like that's the way life is, man, with men. That's the way society is with men. Like, no, you don't get no shortcuts. You don't got no Captain Saber, bro, coming to your rescue. Nobody's coming to your rescue, bro. Right now, we need to focus our attention on this bag. We can't afford to keep losing, and we can't afford to lose in life, bro. That's something that they fixed it like that. They're like, man, either you succeed or you're gonna suffer for the rest of your life. Which one is it? I pick succeed, bro. I pick heed and succeed, you know. I pick succeeding, bro. We gotta win at this, bro. We gotta win in this life. You feel me? We gotta win out here, bro. We can't afford to lose no more. We can't afford to like not chase the bag. Feel what I'm saying? That's how I look at things. Either I get this bag or I'm gonna suffer for the rest of my life, man. Fuck the bullshit, bro. You know? Tired of this shit, bro. I'm tired of watching everybody walking around with girlfriends and I don't have one. You get tired of that shit, bro. Even though you on the mission to chase the bag, you get tired of seeing motherfuckers smooching and kissing and holding hands in front of you, man. You get tired of that shit. Sometimes I get angry. Sometimes, for real, bro, sometimes I'll be sitting in Starbucks and dudes be walking around with their girlfriends or something like that, or walking around with their family and shit. Sometimes I get mad at that. I get angry, man, because I ain't got it. I'm gonna keep that a buck. Sometimes I just want to slap somebody, man. Like, I feel like I'm being deprived of something. Like, I remember when I approached that one fat chick and that girl, Miss 7.5, right? I remember approaching them and I was drunk. And they was making it look like I'm a creep or something, you know? When I was just having a conversation with them, or trying to have a conversation with them, you know, and then the Starbucks manager comes over, and then, I ended up leaving, came back the next day, the Starbucks manager was like, what happened yesterday? I was like, I was drunk. I'm sorry, my bad. He was like, oh no, I don't know. You make those girls feel uncomfortable, Kale. I hate to tell you that you can't come back in here. That's what he was saying. I was like, man, I was drunk. I made up an excuse. I was like, I won a jackpot for like a few thousand, so I came in feeling myself. That's what I told him. But it's like, that shoots your confidence down. You feel what I'm saying? Like, shit like that. And the female that was fat, that had a bigger chin, double chin than I do, I asked that bitch, was I bothering her and her friend? Because there was a Captain Saberho dude that came around and was was asking them, did this person bother you? Is this man bothering you, ma'am? I shut his ass up, because I ain't no motherfucking joke. Motherfucker, I'm having a conversation with these ladies. Don't come over here trying to be a captain and you can get your ass beat. I wasn't that drunk though. But I didn't like the way he intruded in my conversation, man. You feel what I'm saying? Kind of remind me of that incel cartoon where the incel asked the girl for her number after Chad asked her for her number. So Chad was successful. He was unsuccessful, and she got pissed off. And some side guy, just what happened to me before, you know, just what happened to me before, you know. Is this guy bothering you, ma'am? When I looked at when I looked at that on the cartoon, and I was like, hey, that happened to me before. That happened to me where a motherfucker wanna play Captain Saberhawk because he feel like you bothering the girls or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? But me, see, I'm an alpha male. I turned around, I checked his ass. I was like, motherfucker, I'm talking to the girls. I'm talking to the ladies. You know. He sat his ass down too, because I hype mogged him and he saw the size of me. And I work out, I'm buff. So he sat his ass back down after I said, motherfucker, I'm talking to the girls. I'm not talking to you. You know, when I got loud, that's when the manager came over. But motherfucker, you ain't gonna try to mog me, bro. Remember, I'm taller and I'm bigger than you, and I got muscle behind me. So he saw the size of me, man. He sat his ass down. I hype mogged him, and I fucking Gym Max mogged him too. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want no piece of me, bro. You feel what I'm saying? And then in the cartoon, the incel just left. You know? Don't be a Captain Saberhawk and get your ass whooped. Stuff like that, it makes you feel like you a creep and shit, bro. In this highly competitive dating market, my blood is boiling with revenge, bro. My blood is boiling with revenge, bro. I want my revenge so bad on you hoes. All you fucking bitches acting like princesses, when I pull up with that money, with that bankroll, that's gonna be my revenge right there. That's gonna be my revenge for you goddamn bitches who rejected me when I was broke, who didn't want to help me when I was broke. You know what I'm saying? So it makes you upset and mad and angry sometimes, man, that you're not having a normal life like everybody else. You know what? I think that guy, the babbling loner, I think he follows me, man. Yeah, I think he does. Now, you might call me crazy, but I'm not going to settle for no certified woman, bro, that I'm not attracted to. I'm just not going to do that. I'm sorry. I'd rather be alone than be with a female that I'm not attracted to. You're just an outcast. You don't deserve no good life. You don't deserve a life. You don't deserve a woman. You're just somebody that no woman wants. You know, that's how you feel, bro. You know? Sometimes you feel like you certified. That's why the bag, man, that's so precious at this point in my life, bro. The bag is something that we gotta get. We never gonna get enough respect, man. Never gonna get enough respect. Until you get that money, man, you're gonna be getting disrespected every single day. It's more important than fitness right now. Don't get me wrong, fitness is important, but that bag is more important now, man. We can work out tomorrow. And I worked out yesterday, so whatever. I got there and I was like, fuck, whatever, man. Let's go down here and fly a sign, and we'll work out probably after I fly a sign, you know? Right now, at this point, we need to be down there, get enough money so we could go turn these numbers in. At this point in my life, we gotta win, man. And let the motherfucking bitches see me pull up. Like, now, bitch. Now, look what I got. You are all getting mauled to the floor. Like that one chick said in the incel cartoon, when they turned that fat dude into Chad, and dude was 6'3", 6'4", and he walked over to the other Chads and said, I'm lean muscle, 6'4". You stand no chance against me, bro. Fucking the other shorter Chads was shaking in their boots when he approached him and shit. And the chick on the side was like, you're all getting mobbed to the floor. Boy, that's a dream, man. That's wishful thinking, bro. You would never be Chad, no matter how much plastic surgery, no matter how much you work out. You'll never be Chad, bro. Chad and Tyrone is one of a kind, bro. You feel me? You know. You know. You can't beat these guys, bro. These guys, man, like I said, man, a lot of these guys that are Chads and Tyrones, they got a specialty or a special seat with women, bro. They got a special place with women. And they young too. I keep forgetting that I'm 45. Sometimes I think I'm 35, man, because I'm in so much shape, you know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like I'm 35. I forget that I'm 45, heading towards 50, you know? That counts against you too, like what they call it, the age pill and shit. That works against you, man, your age. That means it's gonna be a little harder to get young females. Matter of fact, a lot harder. Every year that goes by from here is gonna be a lot harder without resources. That's why the bag is so important to me, man. Once I get the bag, I'll be 25 all over again. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, I'm not gonna be too old then, right? A 45-year-old man with a bag, woo, man. You ain't gonna be too old then, right? Now they're gonna be like making up excuses. He got money, so it doesn't matter if he's 45 or not. He has money. So that makes him a 10. For real, man. When you get the bag, bro, your looks go up. You feel me? Hello. How you doing? You okay? I should see you. You know. Chick can see. badass on her. You feel me? So like, you can't defeat Chad no matter how hard you try without money. You feel what I'm saying? Chads and Tyrones, you can only compete with them with money, and lots of it. We're talking about Lamborghini money, Porsche money, not just any old Porsche, but a high-end Porsche, $150,000 Porsche. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way you can compete with Chad, bro. Chad is a different animal, bro. You can't just compete with him with just your looks, like with your average at best looks. Only through reincarnation. Maybe you might be born a Chad one day. You know, maybe you might be born a Chad, you know, after you die in this lifetime. But right now, bro, you ain't competing with no Chad. Not ever, not in this lifetime. You'll never ever be able to compete with that dude, bro. Only with money. That's why guys go out there and get it. Average and below average looking men. That's the only reason why they go out and get a lot of money. Because that's the only way they can compete with Chad and Tyrone. You feel what I'm saying? Don't forget Tyrone too. It's not just Chad that you gotta worry about, but you got Tyrones too, bro. Like tall ass black men with big jaws that women they just drool after these dudes. 6'3", jawline from here to like Las Vegas. You know, jawline so sharp that they can use it to cut a sandwich and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, they go crazy. They go crazy over Chad, man. You feel what I'm saying? He walk in a room and it's over, bro. Say goodbye to your girlfriend. Say goodbye to the female that you was talking to. Maybe you might have been talking to a female. As soon as Chad pops up, bro, the woman that you was talking to, she gone, bro. She gone. She might not have been your girlfriend. She might have been just a female you was talking to. When Chad shows up, it's game over. If you ain't got no money, if you ain't got no money, it's game over. See, Chad can only compete with money. That's his kryptonite. You can only defeat Chad and Tyrone with money. That's the only way you can win against these guys. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, you might be able to beat them up or something like that. You might be able to win in a fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you might know some martial arts and you can kick their ass. But in the end, with women, Chad and Tyrone always win without money. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no money, Chad will always win. Tyrone will always win. You know what I'm saying? Your brain is the only thing that you gotta work. I advise you to read all kinds of books, like Elon Musk was doing. Read all kinds of books. Fill your head up with knowledge, bro. That's the only way you can be able to fight, man. Because you can't fight against them with just looks, bro. You know what I'm saying? Some guys are saying, well, you know what? I didn't have a whole lot of women coming up in my life, you know, so I was able to focus on school and stuff a lot more, you know, getting good grades and stuff and becoming something. The guys who didn't have the discipline to do all that, who didn't become nothing, and they sub-5, of course, yeah, duh, because you don't have the looks, you don't have the height, and you don't have the brain. At least some guys are sub 5, they got their brains. They raised their IQ. They smarter than everybody else because they had to force themselves to be smart. They had to force themselves to get good grades in school. Or because the world wasn't going to give them the world wasn't going to give them a pass like they do with Chad and Tyrone. Just like that cartoon I was watching, where the Chad, he didn't meet his deadline in the company. You know, they were sitting at the table, and they were in a corporation or something, and Chad was sitting there like, I didn't meet my target. I'm sorry, boss. Made all kinds of excuses, and because of his looks as a Chad, she let him slide. But when it came to the less attractive guy, he didn't meet his target. She started to grill him, and she started to, started to like talk down to him and stuff like that, man. So that goes to show right there that you can't afford to fail like Chad, man, and Tyrone, because the world don't treat you like the same as Chad and Tyrone. Rich women go after Chad and Tyrone, bro. Look at Hollywood. All these rich women dating Chads and Tyrones. You hear what I'm saying? Everybody wasn't born like Chris Brown or Nathan McCall on Strip. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wasn't born like top tier looks and shit. It's like, man, you can't afford to like skip out on school when you're young. You can't afford to like not chase the bag. You can't afford to be broke. That's how serious this shit is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't afford to lay up at home and do nothing. Life is going to be hell if you do. You can't afford to do that. You feel what I'm saying? You see, that's why I say, man, it's all about your parents, how they brought you up. Your parents, it's your parents' fault, man. They trained you to be this way. And that's why I hated my parents. I always would say that shit. Some incel came through and said, man, never talk down on your parents or some shit like that. The incel that spent 27 years single with no girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? I can see why you still in your spot, man. You got that slap one cheek and I'll turn the other cheek over. You got that type of syndrome shit going on. If you slap one cheek, I turn the other cheek over. Slap the other cheek too. And then if you slap that cheek, I'm gonna turn the other cheek. Slap that cheek too. You take a lot of abuse, man. You like abuse. You know what I'm saying? Because your parents should have got you ready for the outside world while you was a baby. The moment you was able to walk and talk, they should have been training you to compete in this world, bro. But they didn't do that. A lot of motherfuckers, they didn't come up to be nothing, bro, because your parents, they taught you how to lose, man. You feel me? He said, karate kick that Tyrone, and he'll get sympathy sex. Yep, he will. It don't matter, capoeira, karate. You can whoop a Chad or a Tyrone's ass. He's still gonna win against you with looks, bro. Even if his face is all busted up, females will still comfort him and give him some sympathy sex, like you said. You feel what I'm saying? So you can't compete with these dudes, bro. The only way you can compete with these guys is through your mind. Make lots of money. That's it. That's your only answer. Can't compete with younger men either without money, man. Younger men will maul you to death, bro. You know what I'm saying? A younger man that's 25, he gonna maul you to death, bro. His jawline is sharper than yours. His body fat percentage is lower than yours. His face is more tighter than yours. You know what I'm saying? So nah, resources, that's where you compete, man. Nah, too young for all that shit. Or no, I'm too old for that shit. I leave with resources. That's it. Fuck that young shit, bro. Because I'm not that young anymore. I'm not a young chickaroo no more that can walk around clubs and hit on young females and get success. That's not going to be happening, man. I might be able to get the sub 5 young females. I noticed that, bro. The only females nowadays that's checking for me really hard are the 5s, 4s, and 3s. You know, that's the only thing that's checking for me nowadays, bro. I noticed that. Young female, sub 5, she always saying, hi, Kel, hi, Kel, hi, Kel, hi, Kel, all the time. And she's like a sub 5 geeky nerd, a geeky nerd chick, bro. You know, that's not my cup of tea. A geeky nerd chick. I never went out with a geek nerd bitch. My ex-girlfriend, she wasn't no geeky nerd type of shit, bro. You feel what I'm saying? She's really geeky, bro. Really geeky. Like, really geeky. And she's half black, half white. And she's always checking for me when I come in. Her and the chunky chick, you know, the 17-year-old chick. She too goddamn young. You know, I'm like, when the fuck are you gonna turn 18? I'll come through. I'll wait. Next year? Okay, we wait until next year then. Shit. She's too goddamn young. You feel me? But I gotta go. I gotta fly my sign, man. You guys have a good day. I'm just venting. I'm frustrated, man. You don't think I'm frustrated, guys? I've been single for 8 fucking years. You don't think that's frustrating enough? Man, that's highly frustrating, bro. That's highly frustrating. You feel what I'm saying? You think I'm like the happy that I've been single and everybody's walking around with girlfriends and stuff, and you can't do the same? I ain't talking about women that you're not attracted to. That's easy to do. But I'm talking about women who you're actually attracted to. You can't just walk around with them like everybody else walking around with. I've been really pissed off on the inside. I just ain't been saying nothing, man. Like, I'm to the point where, like, you know, I'm in a fighting somebody or something. You know, beating somebody's ass, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that's how frustrating it is, man. All I can do is just get the bag. That's all I can do, man. That's all I can do. I can only chase the bag. That's the only thing I can control, man. You feel what I'm saying? I can't even, like I said, man, I can't even go back and get those years back, man. It shouldn't have went down like that, but it did. You feel what I'm saying? You're 8 years single, man. You know how fucking frustrated that is, bro? You know what I'm saying? Nigga, fuck 27 years single. Just 8 years single. That's enough to like make you almost crazy and shit and make you angry. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you feel like an incel sometimes. You feel what I'm saying? And you're not even sub 5. I gotta go. You guys have a good day. I'm out, man. Peace.